Welcome to YBENTTV, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Um, Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell. That way you're updated each and every time I'm uploading something new. And we are back with my segment of in-depth interviews. And today's special guest is the wonderful EP show creator from Chasing Reality, Chasing Dallas, now The Retreat, and of many more things. Master of many, many, many hats. Amen. Ressie G, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for the warm reception. Thank
Yes, ma'am.
you.
You look fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I just woke up, so just
Oh,
roll out
wow.
of bed.
You just
No, I'm
woke up
joking.
like this.
Just woke up like this.
I know that's right. First of all, I just want to say thank you for your time. I want to also say thank you for meeting with me. I know
Mhm.
people are like, what? YB has such strong opinions. And I know that I can come off a little left sometimes in my reviews and when I'm talking about these particular shows, but I hope that everyone knows that it's meant with love. And I'm
Mhm.
still learning as a person and as a reviewer. One of the main things I need to get into my thick skull is you don't know these people. You're getting a glimpse of their life or what they allow you to see, and there's more to it. But on the other hand, as a reviewer, we have no choice but to talk about the things that we see.
Right.
Um, and so let's just get into this real quick.
Okay.
I have some questions.
Mhm.
Um, a community icon and mainstay in the reality web series genre. Does this recognition sound about right?
I would say so. I'm here for it. I accept it. I accept the titles. Whatever the people may give me, I accept it all day.
I do. How can I put this? Well, first of all, let's get to the next question. How do these
Okay.
accolades make you feel, especially knowing where you came from?
I would definitely say coming from where I come from, coming from very humble beginnings, and then to sit here years and years later and say that I'm a producer, I'm given opportunities, putting myself at a helm, so to speak, because I built some type of niche market now
Mm,
in Dallas in particular. It's sometimes overwhelming, but to whom is given, much is also required. So I definitely have made that my mantra on top
mm.
of the crown is heavy. So either you're gonna wear it or you're gonna pass it to another queen. So I want to be the queen to wear
Heavy
it.
heavy is the head that wears the crown.
hmm
That's what they say.
hmm
Speaking of being creative and doing the things that you do in the media world, um, what is your creative process like? Because I don't think people understand that creative minds such as yours, um, and being a content creator, it can get a little crazy sometimes. You can get stuck in yourself. You can feel stagnant. You have glimpses of joy and inspiration. So, what is your creative process like?
For me, whenever I think of something new, I always, as I've gotten older, want to make sure that it's serving its purpose, serving the world, serving my people, the community, and giving them a look into something that may not be understood, showing them the other side. So for me, such as like say the retreat or even Chasing Dallas or anything else that's coming, I always think first, okay, I know it's entertainment. I know this is a show, so you got to pull people in to watch it. But what is the underlying piece of information or that one thing I can kind of squeeze in there so that people understand us a little bit better? Because I feel that mainstream media does not depict LGBTQ people of color in the best light. It's always the fighting, it's always the catty, we're always the purse to a beautiful woman. And so, yes, that's a part of realness or being real, but I think that with my productions and any production that I consult, I always try to say, okay, hey, what do you want to say? And then once you figure out what you want to say, try your best to say that without it being missed by it being boring or being missed by people just simply not understanding. Because I believe a lot of people in this world and society are stupid. And when I say stupid, they just don't have the knowledge. They're really ignorant to a lot of things. So you have to sometimes dumb yourself down or build yourself up so that the masses can understand exactly what you have to say so they can learn from it. So I write it down. I'm a big person on sticky notes, and I these are all over my house, all over, like literally my dining room table. And I just write things down, and then I say, okay, well, how can we pull all this together to create something for everybody?
Mm.
So that's my process.
Very Mary Jane of you.
Listen, I'm rewatching Mary Jane right now because when I moved to Dallas, it was right during, I wouldn't say it was season 3 when she had moved to New York, and I was just like, oh my God, this is my life. And it definitely helps. It definitely helps. I don't do all the quotes and things like that, but whenever I have a thought, for me, even when I was in college, I I'm a great listener and I can digest it, but I have to write it down to make it concrete for myself. And then once you write it down, then for me, it's like, okay, you know this thing. So if you don't use the knowledge that you know now because you've made it solid, it's your fault if you don't deliver it the right way. And I've always believed in that.
I hear you. I've always been a visual person. I make I used to make vision boards or collages or just,
Mm-hmm.
a to-do list or things that inspire me. That way I can see it all the time because I think thoughts are living things and you attract what you think about.
Oh
So,
yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
you can manifest what you think about too
Oh
without
yes.
taking too much of your energy.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of answered this question. It's the next one on the list. How important is it to you to highlight our community? And do you ever think that we will be normalized in mainstream media?
I think that it's extremely important that with every avenue that we have being a part of the community, that we make a conscious effort. I told myself I'm taking try to make a conscious effort to get people to understand who we are because just as Black folk, gay folk have been put into this little cubby in
Mm,
society and in the world. And it's like, okay, these people are different. So let's
mm,
put them over here. And then whenever we can, we'll take a scoop every now and then. And so I think it's extremely important for us to have moments where we utilize our resources the best way we can, whether that's through social media, whether that's through physical activism out in the streets doing whatever it is. And for me, it just so happened that I love social media. I love that aspect, and I've been able to take advantage of the platforms that I've been introduced to and welcomed in by exposing what regular folk, straight
mm,
heterosexual people, would not be so much otherwise known about. Because even last season, when we had on episode 3, leading into 4, the piece about Malaysia Booker, a lot of, even though that was a nationally publicized tragedy, and then even here in Dallas, a lot of people don't realize that her homegoing was actually televised on all the news outlets here as
mm,
if just like they did for Aretha Franklin. It was local, but it was televised, and you saw the beginning to the middle to the end of her homegoing ceremony. And a lot of people don't know that, but in turn, a lot of people outside of the spectrum of awareness of LGBTQ folks didn't know her story. And
right.
so to bring that to the forefront, it just goes to show it's time for us to be educated the right way as a race, as a human race, as African American people, people of color. I think it's time out for us just to think that it's okay to be prejudiced. And then if we are prejudiced, we have to address those things and then learn why we are that. Because I think a lot of us are inherently prejudiced because we just don't understand a particular aspect of us as a people, you
Mm.
know?
I would like to say, and I think I can speak for a lot of our community, I appreciate Chasing Reality. I appreciate you and the things that you guys do, the well balanced nature when you approach your seasons. Yes, we
Mhm,
get our mess. Yes, we get our entertainment, but you always find a way to put in something that's impactful to the community, whether it
mhm,
be Black Lives Matter, Trans Lives Matter, or just something that represents the LGBT plus community as a whole. So I just want to say thank you for that nod. And
mhm,
Because who else is going to do it if not us, you know? So
Nobody.
I totally get
Hmm.
that. We talked about labels and being boxed in. You have a flair
Thank
about
you.
your fashions, the way that you approach how you're going to live your life.
Hmm.
How how would you label yourself if at all? Because we see you in androgyny, we see that you look good as a girl, as a boy, honey. Like you work every angle of the spectrum. So
Hmm.
what is that like for you? Where do you find that confidence, and what would you label yourself?
Well, to me, I always been complimented on my looks by my parents. My
Mm,
mom and my dad, they always called me handsome every day of my life coming up.
mm,
And then they always acknowledged, oh, you so intelligent. Oh, Joyce, that's my mom. Your child's so intelligent. Larry, your son's so intelligent. And all these different things. And so I've always been able to receive that well. And then
mm,
as I got older, I realized that, okay, I do look good. All right. Okay. Okay. I'm here for this. Now, how do I use that to progress?
mm,
And when I became a stylist in Atlanta, I noticed that only the beautiful people work with the beautiful people. Only the
mm,
fashionable people work with the fashionable people. On the outlandish, fashionable or trendy or unique stylists get hired. And
mm,
so I told myself that, okay, well, what I'm going to do is if I like something and I can fit it, I'm going to wear it. If I
mm.
like it and it's all put together and I look in the mirror and I'm like, okay, great, I'm going to wear it as far as clothes. My face is always going to remain the same. I mean, we're beat,
Yes, God.
you know. And so through that, that was my thought. And my first internship before I actually branched out on my own as a stylist. And my mentor would always say, you got to look the part. And look the part is being one of them. And the them was the beautiful people of the world. And then when I started to branch out into just simply being freelance, I got out of work just by looking. It always led with a compliment. Oh my God, I love that. Or, oh, this is so unique. Or, oh, you're so pretty. Or, oh, you're so handsome. And then to me, I think that the self awareness or the security in who I am and what I look like just came and developed into what people would call confidence. So
Mm,
to me, it's all about what I wear and what I want to wear. And a lot of stuff now I get sent. So I get paid to wear it, so why not? If it feels good on my skin, I'm gonna take
oh,
it.
I know that's right. Speaking
Hmm.
of all that, we can't fall into our dreams without being inspired. Do you have any people
Hmm.
that inspired you?
I do. I do. When it comes down to fashion, when I was a stylist, I loved June Ambrose. I loved
Mm,
Oswald Boateng, who is a African American bespoke designer. He designs suits. He's from France.
okay.
I loved, you know, Rachel Zoe. I mean, that's
Mm,
everybody that we had access to publicly. And then on a more intellectual level, I love Nina Simone, her outlet or her outlook on the world.
mm,
Maya Angelou, of course, Oprah Winfrey. Um, those would have to be definitely my top few. And I would just take inspiration from them to keep me secure,
mm,
in continuing to go because it can be hard. Being an entrepreneur, it is not easy. So I had to pull my inspiration from certain places because I couldn't go to where they are because, I'm from
mm.
the projects. So all the money that I made was going towards a light bill or
Okay.
something like that. Okay. And so to grow and then now have access to those people and be respected by a lot of people in different ways, I can now say that everything that I learned from seeing them from afar, I've been able to put into play within part for my life. So
Mm.
hmm
Amen. God will definitely plant a seed and then
hmm
blossom into a dream, and the next thing you know, it's coming to fruition.
hmm
Beautiful segue into this next question.
hmm
Who was Ressie G before we all knew the name? What was that reality like compared to now?
Reese G was before everybody knew the name. I would say Reese G was rough around the edges, honey. Reese G was oh, a fighter, a screamer, a throw whatever you wanted to throw at whoever, if they got upset, extremely outlandish.
Mm.
Um, I had no refinement, but I knew I wanted to be not back in the hood. That's one thing I
Mhm.
knew. I always wanted to be
Oh,
an aristocrat. Okay, I
right,
always wanted to
right.
be an aristocrat, and I'm definitely working towards that every day.
Mm.
But I would say, when my dad passed in 2005,
Mm.
I was 14, and so I always call it my 5 years of hell. So
Mm.
2005 to 2010, I went through a lot,
Mm.
and so I never had time to really recover from everything that I had went through. So I would take a piece here, take a piece there, and then I made a pledge to myself: you get one day out of the month to cry, be angry, be
Mm.
depressed. You get one day. And then when you're done with that day, that whole 24 hours, get back to work. Get back to work.
Mm.
And that's what I did. So, whew, Maurice Gamble, aka Reese G, was whew, that was a hood rat from Decatur, Georgia. But now the person that people know, you still get a little bit of that. You can't lose the Decatur. You can take the girl out Decatur, but you can't take Decatur out the girl. But yeah, I would say I was I was a hell of a young bitch for sure.
Well, you got to start somewhere to get somewhere. What I love
Mm-hmm.
about life is it'll surprise you. Like, I was a badass child,
Mm.
but through growing and living an experience and actually taking the time to learn from those experiences, I
Mm-hmm.
realized that I can force a change to the positive instead of always be looked at the negative. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it seems like it's a lot more work when you're striving for betterment. It always
Mm-hmm.
seems that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's worth it in the end because you get to see the person that you're going to be, that God really wants you to be.
Mm-hmm. And I honestly, for me, I take it from everybody that has played a part in my life.
Mm,
I can vividly remember I was in the foster care system for a little while, and I can remember being at the Gwinnett County Children's Shelter.
mm,
And my junior year, going into my junior year of high school, that summer I spent at the Gwinnett County Children's Shelter because I was a ward of the state at the time from abuse. And I can remember very vividly, there was a head counselor, a coordinator for the center. Her name was Miss Kim, this beautiful, voluptuous African American woman. She kept her hair done. Like, she was just not, her hair was out the place. Like, she was just everything. And one day, the big wigs came in, and they were Caucasian. And she was showing them around the facility and just, doing her thing. And she was so clean and so exact and matter of fact about what she said. And she was so just educated. And I could never recall seeing a black woman like that in person, even at age 14 at the time. And when they left, I said to her, I was like, "Okay, girl, you did that, girl. You did that. You better pull it together for them white folks. You did that." And then she said, "Come here, go to my office." And we sat in her office, and when I tell you, she read me for life. And she said to me, and I can remember every word she said, "You see that door? On the back of her door was different pieces of construction paper
mm,
of different quotes that other kids that had come through the center had written out." And she says, "One day you're going to write a quote and you're going to put it on that door, and I'm never going to see you again. But don't ever let me hear you talk like that again, because
mm,
just because I'm black does not mean I'm not educated." And
mm,
then I would say I spent maybe 3 months in the shelter before I was placed. And 2 days later, she told me, "You're going to be leaving. So go ahead and write your quote and put it on my door."
mm.
And I've never seen her ever again. That was back in
Oh,
2015. I mean, 2005. Never seen her again. Hmm.
well, you're definitely talking to a person that heavily relates. I think we spoke about this last year sometime. I also was a product of the foster care system. So
Hmm.
I know how hard that can be. It can
Hmm.
have um, a major factor in how you grow up and how you treat people in the world too. When
Hmm.
sense of abandonment, when you're feeling lonely in the world, dealing with abuse and self-esteem issues and things of that nature, and trusting people because people
Hmm.
ultimately put you in that position.
True.
So to know that we can still move forward and accomplish great things no matter what our past was,
Hmm.
it's a wonderful feat in itself. Um,
Hmm.
at this time, would you have imagined you would have achieved so much?
Never. I I wrote about it. I believe I wrote about it in my book, and then I tell people all the time, like when I do panels and things like that. I believe that each person in this world, they have to have their Beyonce moment, right? And I
Mm,
jokingly say it, but the Beyonce moment is Beyonce had accomplished so many things. She had 16 Grammys and
mm,
just could not realize it. And she had to take a year off to realize her success.
mm,
And I think that we as people, when you go through a lot, you have to take your moments and just sit back and be like, okay, what's happening? What's going on?
mm,
And then when you finally realize that everything that you're going through, everything that you're experiencing is all for the betterment of who you are becoming each and every single day, I
mm.
really think that for me, I went to three different middle schools. I went to three different high schools. I did 2 years of college, associate's degree, no
Mm,
bachelor's, no master's,
mm,
at a trimester school.
mm,
I have been homeless. I was in an internship while being homeless. I have done things in the streets. I was, doing all these things. And then now to be sitting here with you and just kind of realize, oh my God, I am a pillar now in the Dallas LGBT community. I have some
Not
type of
just Dallas,
influence.
honey. Not just Dallas, honey. Your guys' reach is far and wide, honey.
Hmm. Well, I mean that I never would have thought that I would be in this world because for a long time as a stylist, I would never work with gay people. Like
Mm,
I was so far removed from the community, I didn't know how important it was to be a part of the community in that way. And I can remember I had a meeting with Juan. I don't know if you're familiar with Juan and G Smalls.
right.
There's some Juan. I had a meeting with Juan, and he was the first person that I had consulted with to get him ready for the gentlemen's ball that they used to have and throw. And that was my first time ever considering working with um, a LGBTQ person as a stylist. I had did my volunteering and all of that, but it was always I was there because I had a straight client, you
Mm,
know. And then to be now a producer of or be a part of a very influential brand that's fueled all by us. It's like a huge full circle experience for me to be so far removed and then be sitting in this seat.
mm,
So yeah, I mean, I have moments where I just have to take a moment and just be like, damn, oh, look where we are. Look where I am. And some days I am very full, in the words of Whitney Houston. My heart is so full.
mm,
So some days, most definitely, it gets real. It most definitely gets real.
mm.
Hmm.
Another wonderful segue into the next question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself happier.
Mm,
I see myself with my consulting firm that I'm currently building.
mm,
I am more productions for sure, and I want an Emmy or an Oscar or a GLAAD award or a Sundance Festival award as a producer. I feel like I'm going to have some type of award that's a nationally recognized award as a producer for LGBTQ content.
mm.
So that's a goal that I'm definitely pushing for right now. And I want a big award, a real one. Not just, not something local. We got a local one. But I
I,
want something that's recognized by them over there in Hollywood. Now it's like, now y'all calling me because y'all want to work with the girl. So
Amen.
for sure. Possibly married, maybe. Maybe a child or a dog. Who knows? Mhm.
I would like to know, what else would you like to do?
I do want to. I want to have a nonprofit. My mom, she wanted. She feels like her time's passed, but I say, child, it ain't. She wants to have a better women's home. So
Mm,
I definitely want to have a battered women's home for children and their mothers. I do want that. I would like to own some restaurants, all that stuff to create generational wealth,
mm,
because that's one thing that I think that we forget about, because
mm.
that's what they have. So they got it. Why can't we have it?
Amen.
But most definitely, I want to use the money that I have to be that male salonier in Dallas, to make sure that I do these fundraisers to build money for causes that aren't the taboo causes. Not
Mm,
saying that, certain things aren't always needed, but it's time for us to be more inclusive when it comes down to these major movements like the Me Too movement. And I mean, I was a victim of the Me Too movement when I was in high school. I worked at Taco Bell and I was always sexually harassed by one of my managers. Didn't know it was a thing because there was nobody there to tell me, hey, this is wrong. All I used to think was, oh, okay, well, she just slapped my ass because I'm fine, whatever. I got tired of it, but I didn't know that that was a thing. But then it started to register in me that, oh, the reason why I'm getting all these hours is because she want to see me and see the shade.
mm,
But the Me Too movement does not include us. Black
mm.
Lives Matter does not include us, which is why we have to create our own hashtags and things like that. And so I believe it's definitely a lot of weight to carry, but all of our activists are dying, you know. So it got to be some new ones to arise. So I definitely feel like it's time, and we are gonna have to make those moves. And if I got to be one of them to make the moves, let's move, let's shake it,
No, that's
for
right. Let's
sure.
shake the table.
Hmm.
Let's shake the table.
Hmm. I'm ready for it.
I'm about to get into some more in-depth things.
Okay.
Um, what are some hard lessons you've learned along your journey?
Some hard lessons I learned. Biggest one is be patient. I have a innate problem with wanting to get right now, wanting whatever it is right now, and not realizing that you cannot handle it right now, which is why God and the universe will hold on to it and then give it to you. Once you're equipped with the knowledge, the know-how, the patience, whatever it is to handle that thing, that's when it will be given to you. I do believe in that. I would say also, don't give your heart away too freely. Make them work for it. You know, I had a big problem with thinking that being a Southern gentleman, by looking at Billy D. Williams and all those movies where you are, that's in my father, those is examples of men. But I had to realize, wait, they straight. So shit changes when you gang, you're like men. So you gotta be cautious. Um, I would also say another big lesson. Save your money too. Because I would say the mistakes that I made from what 2021 to 25, or I'm feeling them now at 30. So save your money, work on your credit, and don't. And lastly, when if you go with your first mind, because if you don't go, for me, when you don't go with your first mind, you're not being who God created you to be, who is yourself, and you're doing things that are far removed from who He knows. And if God don't know you, then you're always gonna mess up. So I believe in that too.
I know that's right.
Hmm.
Um, if you could go back in time and give
Hmm.
advice to your younger self, what would it be and why?
If I could go back in time and give advice to my younger self, I would say to the younger me, cry now. It's okay. Cry now. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to overextend yourself. You need to make sure that you are appreciated by each and every person that comes in your life. And it's okay to be alone. Being lonely and being alone are two totally different things. Um, be more faithful because it's all going to work out. It's all going to work out. Be more faithful. And everything that you do, if you do it right and not lead with malicious intent, you are going to reap benefits from it for sure. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes into perfect with my next question after that. Do you
Mm-hmm.
have any regrets? If any, the chance to do it all over again, would you and why?
Um, I would say my biggest regret is early on in my career, I was making a lot of money and I spent it quickly.
Mm.
And so I definitely regret that. I think that I should have saved more. I should have held on to it because now that I have the knowledge, if I would have did that, I could put it in and start, making it do more things for me. So that would definitely be a regret. The money piece. But I don't believe I could think of anything. Well, yeah, I don't think I could think of anything now outside of that because I feel like everything that's going to happen is going to happen. It has its purpose to happen. God already knows. The universe already knows it's going to happen. It was written before we even thought it. So I definitely believe that anything in my past, it always has affected where I am sitting today. Um, yeah, yeah.
I feel the same way. A lot of times in life, things are predestined already.
Mm-hmm,
Like I said, I would have, like we said earlier, we never would have imagined we would be these people today
mm-mm,
based on who we were when we were younger. You
mm-hmm,
know, complete surprise. I definitely am for myself.
mm-hmm. I know for me. Mhm.
Does Rick CG have any fears or phobias?
My biggest fear is dying and not being remembered. That's my biggest fear of dying and not being remembered. And I could say that I believe now I've done enough to be remembered, but I still feel like there's still some more impact that I could make, some more impact. And I'm always gonna, okay, step up your game, bitch. Step up your game, step up your game, step up your game. But that's my biggest fear, I would say. Um, phobia. I don't have any phobias. I mean, I don't like spiders, but I don't really have a phobia of it. And I don't really have a phobia of heights or anything like that. Not really phobias. It's just certain things I'm just like, ugh, like spiders and ugly bugs and like weird animals. Like it's just always weird to see, that monkey with like the big nose. It's like
Oh,
always weird to see that. It's like, like what is I know it's a creation, Lord, but what is it? It is
your ears are weird as fuck.
Mhm,
Possums, chow.
mhm,
They look like
mhm,
they could turn inside out, like a skinned cat, honey. Like, it was
mm,
so disgusting. So
mhm.
disgusting. Um, how does Reese G decompress? What does relaxation look like to you?
Nowadays, I don't really have time,
Mm,
but I would say the way that I decompress the most is sleep whenever I
mm,
can get it. Um, Golden Girls.
mm,
I could watch Golden Girls over and over and over and over and over again. And then I like to just drive, just get out and just drive and put on some good music and just drive through the more expensive areas of the city and just see the big homes and see the nice cars and put on some good music and just kind of inspire myself into, this is where you're gonna be, bitch. You're gonna get there. Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. I love to just chill with friends too. Um, I don't have many, but I definitely like that for sure. But mostly, I just try my best to rest, and it is hard, which is why I went on ahead and I invested in a second phone couple about 6 months ago, so that I could
Okay.
just turn that one off.
Hmm.
Like literally, I blocked everybody on my personal phone that's all business, put them in my new phone, and just I turn it off.
Now you
How
can take.
often do I turn it off? I can't say that, but I have tried to start just turning it off so I can turn my mind off and just enjoy it. Like yesterday, I think I went out and got tipsy for the first time in a long time, and it just felt good to just be out and do some bald headed hoe shit.
Okay.
And but yeah, I try.
I know that's right.
Hmm.
Speaking of that, I'm going to go into a space. A growth and peace can be sensed in you. Am I right? And if so, can you explain this? What do you attribute it to?
Um,
Let me just
I,
give a little precursor real quick.
mhm,
Chasing Dallas season two, you could tell that you were obviously over it. Towards the end, we saw a bunch of lies and different things. Just seeing your attitude towards everything, it was like you were in this really dark place.
mhm,
But we see the emergence of the retreat and episode one off rip. I even mentioned it in my review. I'm sensing this content, more self-aware Ressie that's really just like trying. I don't see EP Ressie. I see Ressie, a person, a cast member, someone who's really here trying to do the work necessary to either deal with yourself, learn yourself, and make changes if needed.
mhm. Yeah, I agree, 100%. So for me, it happened when I had an accident.
Mm.
I was driving on the highway and a axle flew through my windshield. I was
Mm.
actually on Facebook Live and it flew
I saw
through and it missed me by that much. And it really put things because I was definitely in shock. I believe I was in shock for like 3 days.
that. Mm.
But for me, it really rang a bell that not the cliche life is too short. I scrapped that. You're here for a reason
Mm.
because you could have been gone.
Mm.
Makes me a little emotional. But for me, I believe that when I moved to Dallas, I was caught up in because I moved here and I was like, I'm finna be gay. Yes. I'm finna date. I'm finna get the boy. I'm finna get the cute job. I'm finna get the dog. I'm finna do all these things that I wasn't necessarily able to do because I was focused on living and surviving as a stylist in Atlanta.
Mm.
That was not the plan for him. And so when I got here, I believe that the people that I was hanging around, that I called friend, influenced my decisions and how I interacted with others. And so for me, when that accident happened, it was like because I can remember texting someone that was close to me at the time, and I was like, "Hey, I need to see you because I need to see how I am with you now
Mm.
because things had just shifted." And so I would say I'm more so getting back to me
Mm.
versus being because I mean season two, I mean I had a lot of different looks to relate to a lot of different people just so that I can pull some people in and up so that they can understand you can do this. Fuck everybody else.
Mm.
But then I had to think I was like, girl, you're being just as outlandish as you were when you were 22.
Mm.
You can't do that. You're approaching 30. This no, you can't. People gonna get it regardless of if you look this way or not. So go ahead and go back to you. Go back to regular old Reefy G. Get your facial hair back. You can still be beat. Do
Mm.
your thing. Cause I mean, people the facial hair means a lot to me. Cause it's to me it's an homage to my dad. So it's important to me.
Mm.
And so even with that, it was more so approaching a peaceful place because I started to recognize myself more. And therapy helped, of course. I don't go through therapy anymore. I still am in contact with the counselor, but I really had to do the work on getting back to me because I don't believe people understand that when you lose yourself, it's harder to get back. And I'm glad I just caught it within that year and a half of me being here.
Mm,
And I was trying not to be a mean girl like I was in Atlanta and with the gays that I used to hang around with, and to come here and be like light and airy. And it's like, no, no, no.
mm,
God didn't create a light and airy. God created a person that's going to say what needs to be said for the sake of more than just that one person you're being light and airy to.
mm,
So be that, because I know that, you know that. And so with me getting back to me more, it created this peace. It created this sullen person. Like when I go, like whenever I'm working now, I honestly have to get out of my house because my atmosphere at home is so calming. I just literally, when I come home, I just want to relax and go to bed. But I know there's work that needs to be done. So I have to get out or invite people over to keep me because
mm.
I'll burn my Palo Santo, I'll burn my sage, and then at the end of it, I'd be like, let me give me a nice glass and just chill out. But yeah, I would say for me, the accident was the turning point, and then it was like, because I mean, there were so many people on that live that day when it happened, and it was it was surreal. It
Mm,
was surreal because I literally almost could have died. Like I never in my life had a near death experience.
mm,
And it was just crazy because like it happened. I was able to pull over to the side. It seemed like, and I joke about it, but it seemed like there was a hand behind my car that stopped all the rest of the cars from hitting me
mm,
because the entire windshield just turned, it just was like dust of glass.
mm,
And so I had pulled over to the side. I was bleeding a little. I went on to my friend Cameron's house, who's also one of my producers. And I was like, I called him. I was like, hey, where you at? This is Tone. He was like, oh, I'm at the store down the street. I was like, okay, well, I just had an accident. Can you come to your house really quick? He's like, oh my God, yeah. And then he got there and he was just like, bitch, are you okay? And I
mm.
was like, yeah, I'm all right. But I didn't realize that it had an impact on me, which I'm happy about, but
Right.
it was something.
Oh, child. I'm glad you're okay. I definitely was purview to that whole situation. It was very scary.
Hmm.
Um, I know you were reached out by several, if not a lot of people, just to make sure that you're doing well. But I
Hmm.
don't even like to say this because I hate that God would send tragedy to wake us up.
It's the
But I
truth.
will say that things work in mysterious ways too. That'll be the catalyst for us to look at our life in retrospect and really take stock and inventory of what we need, what's really important in our life.
Hmm.
So, moving on, and we're almost done here. Um, I wanted to get into a little bit about relationships. What's been your overall experience dating, hookups, love, sex? How do you view these things? How do you view these things? Also, as it relates to marriage and kids, we spoke a little bit about that earlier.
My mom want me to have a baby as soon as possible. So it's like, girl, hold on. I'm not trying to be a single parent. I love love. I
Mm,
love love. I've never been in a relationship. I was close. I was very close. Most recently, I was very close. But I would say that I love being able to be a man while
mm,
dating. Like let me do my thing. Let me be chivalrous. Let me be gallant. Let me be the Southern gentleman, belle, all of that. In the moment. Sex. Who doesn't love sex?
okay.
I mean, I'm a Scorpio, so I definitely love a good romp in the sack. Okay, but I think more so to me, it's more about the intimacy. Like for me, like I'm talking to you, but it would be great to have a guy sitting on the couch, cheer me on. That means way more to me than a what 30 minute to an hour sexual encounter. For me, I
Shout
do
out to
want.
my last night. Okay.
Okay. um, I mean, I do want children. I would like a son. I would like a son to carry on my last name, whether that's biological or through adoption. I would like to have a biological son so he look as good as me. But
Mm.
if that's not in the cards, then I'm definitely going to have a man child to raise to keep my last name going, just as a to pay homage to my father for sure.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I want to be in a relationship. I want to date, but things change so quickly with when 30 hit. Oh my God. It was just like there are certain things that I just do not want to deal with.
I just
And
turned 33 in January, and I tell people once you hit 30, there's like this thing. Everyone I know, everyone I've talked to goes through this. It's almost like this wave of like, leave me the fuck alone, bitch.
yes.
I tolerate nothing. Like, no God.
And that's what it was. Cause like I'm gonna tell you, everybody was asking me, so Reese, so last year you did a turnabout, you partied all weekend. What you gonna do for your 30th? I was like, nothing. I was like, nothing. And so I was literally at home. I took that Friday off of every type of work, and then I got up and I went out and had a drink. And I
Mm.
shared a birthday with a guy that I know here socially. So he was out, and so we hugged, we bought each other shots, and had a good time. And that was enough for me. And it really I started to look at people differently.
Mm.
It was like I got some, when you at the doctor's office and they click the big thing and it's like one or two. What's clear? One or two. And I was like, bitch two, it's clear. I see it. And that's literally what it's been like for me here lately. It's
Mm.
That's exactly what it's been. It's like
I
that
call
30,
it the big revelation.
oh my God. Right? Didn't nobody tell you about this.
And you can, and I feel like it's at there's different series in life that you're gonna go
Hmm.
through, that we're all gonna go through, and it happens over and over again. I think it's like that restock moment, like that moment where you just sit down with yourself. What's
Hmm.
important? If it's not important, you're cutting it out. That way, it's no longer hindering you. Because the older you get, the bullshit meter, you don't have time
Hmm.
for none of that no more, honey.
Mm-mm.
If
And
it
you
ain't
have
helping
to
you
address it. You
or
have
add
to address it
positivity,
in that moment. And for me, it's like even you'll see on season 3, there's a lot of things that some of these battles ain't mine. But
mm,
I want to see, let me see how you're gonna act in this situation.
mm,
Then then with seeing you, it gives me permission to address you in a particular way after that.
mm,
But I would say all week I had one song on repeat, and it was so crazy. It's a song by T.S. LaKendra called "It's Time,"
mm,
and that song I was listening to it at work, and child, next thing you know, I started crying. I said, "Girl, what is you?" But for me, it was like certain little things like that helped tame myself, and then with it helped tame the lion, so to speak. And so now that the lion is tamed, I don't have to always unleash that lion when I'm angry. you know Now it's really like he can come out whenever he needs to and go back whenever he needs to, for sure.
mm.
Mhm.
And in closing out, one more question.
Mhm.
If you were approached by a genie and he granted you three wishes, what would they be?
3 wishes. First wish would be to have my dad back. I would like to have my dad back. But then even with that, I know that's, you know, that's a whole nother thing. But I would like to have my dad back. Um, I would like to be financially free, whatever that looks like in the eyes of whatever that means. And as cliche as it may sound, I would like to free the genie because I always watch those. You watch those movies, and then the genie has to be freed by the master, and they're never freed. But then in turn, you develop the friend in the genie. So I'll free the genie. You know.
That's very selfless. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I've asked that question to multiple people before, and they've never given that answer. Even
Yeah.
myself, I've never even given that answer. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, blessed
Yeah.
unto others. Blessed unto you.
Yep.
In closing,
Mhm.
is there anything else that you would like to leave the people with?
I would say keep going.
Mm,
Whatever it is, if you watch this, you out there, if you have a dream, if you have an aspiration, if you have a moment where it's not going to be easy, but the way that you interact with the world can make it easier for you. Constantly remember that your efforts with people, when you do your best, people notice.
mm.
Oprah said it best. When you do your best, people notice. And so if you continue to do your best, it'll come. And God answers every single prayer, even if the answer is no or not right now.
Amen.
Mhm.
And tell the people where they can find you and how they can support the brand.
So you can find me on all social media outlets at RessieG. That's RESSIEG. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Twitter is RessieG Tweet. And you can definitely follow the brand on YouTube at Chasing Reality. That's CHASING, Reality, REALITY. And that's where you can find all of our, anchor shows, Chasing Atlanta, Chasing Dallas, soon to be Chasing LA. And yeah, and then on all social media platforms, Chasing Reality as well.
I really do appreciate you for coming on and doing
I
this.
appreciate you too.
I'll be seeing you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell. That way you'll be updated each and every time I'm uploading something new. And make sure you continue to support the Chasing Reality brand. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, what's up? It's the Cat's Meow, also known as the Flash of the Justice League. You can find me on Instagram at the Cat's Meow Official or on YouTube at the Cat's Meow.
Hi, it's your girl Abby Reviews, aka Tatted and Fluffy, aka that bitch with the beat face, telling you to find me on YouTube for all your makeup needs.
What up? It's me, Teddy27. I am Iceman. Why? Because I'm cold as ice. I don't throw shade, I send darkness. Because you can get from under shade, but you can't get from under darkness. Catch me on YouTube at Teddy27 Official. Also on Instagram at Teddy27 Official and on Twitter at Teddy27. I'm out. What's good?
Hello, everybody. I'm Terrence, better known as the Black Superman of the Just Us League, and you can catch me on Giving You the Real Tea at YouTube.
What up, everybody? This is ReallyBeatTV, also known as Wonder Woman of the Just Us League. You can catch me here on YouTube at ReallyBeatTV.
This is your boy Scotty by Nature TV, also known as Batman of Justice League. I'm here for all your reality show needs and gossip news. If you want all of that, find me on YouTube at Scotty by Nature TV.
Welcome to the House of Justice, where truth is served, presented by YBENTTV. My supporters are called the jury, and I am the judge and executioner, honey, and my rulings are absolute and final. Yes, God.
And
we
are
The
Just
Us.
League.
My new album, Enigma, is out now. Go to your digital music store, Pandora, Spotify, everywhere, and jam my new album right now.